Ladies and gentlemen, summoners and sorcerers, this is Dragon Slayer from DSG, and today we are going to be talking about what are the possibilities of the amount of characters coming to this game. Now, I'm pretty sure you're thinking, well, Swaga has close to 200 characters after 5 years, and I think MSF is probably around close to there as well. Maybe around, I don't even know how many characters they have. But DSA, Disney Sorcery Net, which is such a huge possibility because it's not specifically Star Wars, for instance, which has so many characters, or not specifically Marvel. We're talking about all of Disney's movies and everything that they have. You take out Marvel and Star Wars, that's still a lot of characters, for instance. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be imagining, using our imagination. This isn't a guide or anything like that. It's just using our imaginations, thinking, what are the actual possibilities for this game? And we're going to go in different blocks of decades and eras of Disney with pictures just showing the different characters that are possible here. So, as you can see on the screen now, the first era we're going to be talking about is the 1930s to the 1960s. This is the golden age of Disney. And this is a very influential time for Disney because really this is where they all got started, obviously. So let's just go through this picture here and see what we can discover and count along the way to see how many characters possible we have here. I think we're going to start in the bottom left here with the princesses and the princes. These are obviously the original princesses and princes. You have Snow White, you have Aurora, and you have Cinderella and their princes. I don't know their princes' names, nor do I bother even trying to learn it. I'm just going to wait till if they come out into the game or not. Be cool, maybe have a new prince faction and really buff up the princess faction would be kind of cool. But we have more princesses throughout the era of Disney, so we'll see what they bring from us then, or bring to us then. Now I move up to the right of that, you have obviously some of the villains from this era as well. You have Cruella de Vil, the witch from the Snow White. Now you have Maleficent as a dragon, so many possibilities here. I guess you could also include the two stepsisters and the queen from that movie as well. And also there you have stuck in there Mary Poppins. So Mary Poppins is obviously a live action film, but definitely doable since they already have characters like Jack Sparrow and Cora from Tron. Could easily see Mary Poppins fit in here as well. But of course the villains surrounding her would be great additions. The most common thing is that Maleficent is obviously considered to be a very high raid target, raid boss, so maybe Disney could, or Glue could make a new game mode, not raids. I think they could stop copying and pasting, kind of be their own thing and be more creative that way. That would be really cool to see. And I think Club Conquest is like one of those things, but to see what other modes they could make, more PvE content would be awesome. Now moving around that area, we have the Three Caballeros right over there. Now the Three Caballeros, obviously very classic Disney, very old school. You have Donald, Jose, what the other guy is called. But I could easily see them making another Donald so that that Caballeros trio could be pretty cool to see in the game. And then moving on from there, we have Brer Rabbit. So we all know the whole controversy with Sonic South, but to see them in the game would be awesome. Brer Bear, Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and of course you already have Splash Mountain, so it makes sense to see something like that. And moving on from there, we also have Mr. Toad and Mr. Toad, Ichabod. I don't even know the other characters in that movie, to be honest. I never watched Mr. Toad and that series and everything like that, so my apologies. I'm a little bit uneducated in that area. Then moving on from there, we have Bambi, and we also have Pinocchio there and Thumper. Now of course Pinocchio, Jimmy Cricket, Geppetto could have a cool raid there with the whole circus theme, the goats, and I think the Puppet Master, so that'd be kind of cool to see. Bambi, haven't watched it, not gonna lie, so I don't know too much about there. Moving on from them, we have Alice in Wonderland, we have Tweedledee Tweedledum, Mission the Mad Hatter here, Cheshire Cat, and Cheshire Cat, I don't know the exact way to say it. White Rabbit, I think I already said the Mad Hatter, and the other rabbit from the Mad Hatter as well. Pretty cool to see in this game, I think, for sure. Now behind them, you see Lady and the Tramp. I'm not familiar with that film too much, but some cool little duo character there too. Would be kind of cool to see. Moving on from there, we have the Neverland crew with Peter Pan and Wendy, Michael, I forgot what the brother's name is, but I think it's John. I think if I'm correct, it's John. But it'd be cool to see that trio plus Peter Pan. We already have Tinkerbell here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get the rest of them in the game. And it could easily see a raid to Neverland or a raid to even Alice in Wonderland as well. So it'd be cool to see that. And yeah, this is the 1930s, 1960s. I guess one character we could add here also is going to be Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, the original Mickey Mouse, or what would have been our Mickey Mouse if Universal didn't take Oswald the Lucky Rabbit away. Who knows if Oswald could have, become what Mickey Mouse is today. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. Anyways, they have Oswald back, so it'd be kind of cool to see Oswald in the game as a staple character in the game and be another Mickey and Friends character. But moving on from this era into the 1960s and 1990s. Now, I'm pretty ignorant about this era. I don't know too many films from this era, but there's still some classics in here. We have some of, obviously, the Jungle Book characters. We're missing Baloo, obviously, but we have Mowgli. We have some of the other characters there. Like I said, I don't really know them, but I could definitely see a Jungle Book raid. That'd be kind of cool to go to the jungle and have a raid there. We have the Aristocats. We have Oliver and Company. We have, I believe, a Black Cauldron, if I'm correct. We have Pete's Dragon. We have the Rescuers Down Under. We have the Fox and the Hound, and of course Winnie the Pooh and Friends. I could definitely see also another raid here. This with Winnie the Pooh and Friends going through the 100-acre woods. Kind of cool to see some type of raid that could go in that direction. But of course, another Disney era, a very some people call this a dark era of Disney because it wasn't what the previous generation was, and it wasn't what the following generation was. So it's kind of considered some of the dark times of Disney just because of the films that were a little different and not as great as the previous or following generation. With that said, we're going to move into the Renaissance era of Disney, the 1990s. So this is where you're going to see many of your classic Disney films that many of the people my generation grew up with and remember the most. So if we start in the top left corner over there, we have Tarzan and Friends over here. We have Jane. We have, I forgot his name, the villain, but it's okay. We also have, I believe it's Turk. She's on the other side over here. Moving on from there, we have the Mulan characters. We have Mushu. We have the three other soldiers, and we have Shen as well. So seeing them come into the game would be pretty awesome as well. Now moving to the next to them, we have obviously John Smith and the Governor below them. Cool to see the Governor in the game as a villain, and also John Smith would be a cool character to see in the game as well. Now moving along, past them, we have obviously the Aladdin Sultan, or Jasmine's father. All we're missing in the game, kind of cool. Maybe you could add him to the game, complete the 5-person team there. Maybe buff up that team, you never know. So it'd be cool to see him in the game. Now moving on from there, we have the Hercules group over here. There's some characters in the film that aren't here because obviously Zeus is in the game as well. Would definitely to see these guys go against the Titans in a type of raid and see how that all works. I would love to see the Titans as a raid because it's pretty obvious they're going to they are a pretty easy target as raid bosses. Let's just put it that way. So wouldn't be surprised to see them in there. Moving to the right of them, we have Mufasa, we have Nala, we have Zazu. We'd love to see these guys in the game. Obviously Mufasa does have his spell, but to see him as an actual playable character would be awesome, and I would love to see him there and just be a stable character in the game. Of course, Nala and Zazu would be great additions to the game as well. Whether support characters or similar position, I'd love to see them be great assets to Simba. Of course, it'd be kind of cool to see Timon and Pumbaa. Technically, they're kind of in the game with Simba's attack, one of Simba's attacks, but to see them as actual playable characters, see their artwork and everything like that, will be cool. I mean, come on, guys. They put in Chip, Mrs. Potts. They can definitely put in Timon and Pumbaa. They could be a duo, kind of like Raja and Jasmine. I'd love to see it. And moving on from then, you can see LeFou there. Unfortunately, LeFou has been left out from the Beauty and the Beast team or faction because obviously you have Gaston there, you have Mrs. Potts, you have Lumiere, you have Cogsworth, you have Belle, Beast, and Maurice. I know Sky's favorite, Maurice, so definitely wish we could see LeFou in there as well. And above them, before we get to the Nightmare Before Christmas, we have Esmeralda and the Hunchback. We'd love to see them from the Hunchback of Notre Dame or the Hunchback of Notre Dame. That would be cool to see as well. And in the bottom left over there, we do have the Nightmare Before Christmas cruiser of Lock, Shock, and Barrel. We have Dr. Finkelstein or Finkelstein, and you have the mayor as well. So love to see them in the game because you already have Jack, Sally, and Boogie. Why not bring the rest of these guys in and just add to that whole faction altogether? Because I'd love to see and use a full-on Nightmare Before Christmas team. Lock, Shock, and Barrel could be their own little trio too, kind of like the Onward trio, and have their own different abilities there. It'd be kind of cool to see. Now, this is the 1990s. You're probably wondering, where's Beauty and the Beast and all those guys. Obviously, if they're in the game, they're not going to be on here. So those Beauty and the Beast characters aren't here. You have Little Mermaid missing as well. Technically, Little Mermaid's from the 1989, or 1988. I forgot, something like that. So they're missing from there, obviously, because they're already in the game, and Aladdin, obviously, those characters are in the game, so they're not going to be here as well. Now, moving on from this era, we have the 2000s to the present. So this encompasses a lot of different intellectual properties here. But we have more live action with Tron, for instance, with the revival of Tron, and also Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, they already have Jack Sparrow and Davy Jones. I mean, can you imagine having like a Pirates of the Caribbean raid? I mean, I totally forgot to talk about raids in the previous generation. But I mean, literally every movie in there could literally almost have a raid. But think about a Pirates of the Caribbean raid. You could go from ships, you could go from the different characters. I mean, you could literally have going against like Lord Beckett, Davy Jones being another boss. Captain Barbossa was one of the villains, but he's a toss-up. He's a toss-up character. But of course, it's Queen Anne's Revenge. That's who I was looking for. So you could have any of the raid bosses for those guys. You have Lord Beckett, Davy Jones, you have Queen Anne's Revenge, Blackbeard, and also Captain Salazar. So that'd be cool to see those guys as raid bosses and you go against them from the Pirates of the Caribbean. That'd be freaking awesome. And just around them is also going to be the Empress and Groove. So we have Cusco. Oh gosh, I forgot his name. My bad, guys. But Kronk and Yzma could definitely use some help, and these guys would be definitely there to help them. Even the big guys' kids could be in the game, I think, as well. That'd be kind of cool. And moving on from them, the bottom center there, you have the Atlantis team, and I love Atlantis so much. I'd love to see Milo Thatcher in this game and this crew. Them going against the captain, whatever the bad guy's name is, I forgot. And you could even have like an Atlantis raid going against the the machine creatures that the Atlanteans made. That'd be kind of cool to see as well. Moving on from them, you have Peekly and Jumba from Lilo and Stitch, and obviously Lilo as well. You could probably bring I forgot Lilo's sister's name for a second there, but oh well. My bad, but you can see them coming to the game as well. Completing that Lilo and Stitch team there would be awesome. And then moving on from there, I know Sky's gonna like this, even if he actually manages to watch one of my videos. Sky a fan. You have Treasure Planet there in the bottom right corner, so that's for you as well, Sky. And also above them, you have Chicken Little and Meet the Robinsons. Meet the Robinsons, I think, has a lot of characters actually, and it's a pretty cool movie. During this time was kind of like it was an interesting time for Disney. Michael Eisner was kind of in the twilight of his career at Disney, and let's just say the creativity during this era kind of was a little rough, especially before 2010. But it was stuff like Tangled and The Princess and the Frog and stuff kind of did revive that, Wreck-It Ralph. So there's a distinct difference between these eras. But that also leaves us with Pirates of the Caribbean, which is on its own. That was its own different thing. That was a really good choice by Disney for sure. A lot of fans from there, so I'd love to see them in the game. But moving on from there, you also see Zootopia, you have Tangled, and Princess and the Frog, they said already. Great princesses could definitely be badasses and bring some variety and strength to that princess faction. I would love to see it. And you can also see Wreck-It Ralph in the top right corner. That's actually where we get Golden Hammer, where you see that character with holding up his hand under the E, that's actually Golden Hammer. That's actually where you get Golden Hammer, if you didn't know that. So we'll love to see them in the game as well. Obviously, I can totally see Ralph as being a big tank, Vanellope being an attacker, and I forgot, I don't even know what the guy's name with the blue hat. And when we hit Golden Hammer, he could definitely be a support character as well. Maybe he gets a bonus for using Golden Hammer, you never know. But this is obviously a very more recent era. I think I forgot to call it a Bolt here, but there could be a cool trio there as well. But this era has some great characters as well. I don't know about raid bosses besides Pirates of the Caribbean. Actually, you know, Tron and Atlantis I said as well. Tron could be a great raid as well, and I believe Atlantis could be a good one as well. Besides that, I'm not sure if you could see any raids, or maybe you can make, like I said earlier, make different type of content for these guys, but more possibilities. Now we're gonna go to the old Disney cartoons. Now I'm sure I'm missing some here, but you see Max here with Goof Troop, you have Huey, Dewey, and Louie, you have Rescue Rangers, you have April, May, and June, which are going to be Daisy's nieces, and like I said, Huey, Dewey, and Louie are going to be Donald's nephews. You have Tailspin, they already have some of Darkwing Duck, so to see more of those guys, it'd be cool to see them in the game. You have Carabao Cow, you have Horace something, and Ludwig von something else as well to bring to the game. Those are more old Disney cartoons, more Mickey's and Friends stuff, and I guess kind of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit will kind of fit in here as well. You can see in the center there we have what's his name from Buzz Lightyear, Star Command. Be kind of cool to see in the game as well. Now, of course, you could add like the Proud Family and what's it called, Recess and stuff like that. But those, I don't know if you could see. Personally, I couldn't see them in the game. Those, that's just me though. I don't see them in the game for some reason. That's just my picturing of this. I could definitely see these other characters, more classic characters here, but of course, you never know. Those other Proud Family and the Recess characters could also make the game. I'm probably missing other old Disney cartoons as well that you remember, like from the 90s, for instance. But these are the ones that I definitely remember. Definitely see them in the game, and already some of them are in the game, so why not bring more of them into the game? Now, you're probably wondering, why have you talking about Pixar? Well, here is Pixar. These are all your Pixar movies here. We already know about Miguel for sure. There's definitely a lot of talk about that one. We have the two spirit animals from there. Obviously, you're missing a lot of Fidel's family that are in here as well. You can definitely see them. We have Uzma Kappa from Monsters Inc. We have the other emotions from Inside Out. Would love to see that, so we can get Bing Bong. If you don't know, that's the only legendary character I want, is Bing Bong. If Bing Bong doesn't come into this game, I'd be very disappointed. I think he'd be an awesome legendary character. I mean, think about it. It literally screams legendary character. You literally get the five Inside Out characters, and then you have Bing Bong. I mean, I don't get how easy that is. I mean, that's literally on a golden platter for Glu to make that legendary character. And trust me, if there was a time to wail, I would wail for Bing Bong. I mean, I want to get 7-star Bing Bong the first go around, so I'm gonna farm the hell out of them because I want my Bing Bong, so that's what I would do. Moving on from them, you have Cars. Obviously, I don't know how the mechanics and stuff how they're gonna look in the game, but hey, Cars gonna look cool. We obviously have like Finding Nemo, Finding Dory characters as well, so love to see them in here. We have the triplets from Brave, love to see them into the game as well. Now, like the dinosaur, oh gosh, I forgot the exact name, but I actually watched it recently. It's actually a very sweet little story, so I'd love to see the dinosaur movie in here as well with Spot. So that'd be super cool to see in the game as well. Now, of course, Wally and Eve. There can only really be a duo because not many characters that are playable. And I mean, that are not playable, but you see in Eve, maybe the captain, for instance. But that's about it. And moving there below them, we have Monsters Inc. Definitely Mike Wazowski. Sorry, we don't have Mike Wazowski. We have Celia, Mr. Waternoose is a cool villain. We already have Randall, but Randall's Fungus, I believe his name. Randall's basically his servant. Not exactly to say it, his co-worker, but that'd be kind of cool to see. And of course, the Underminer would be a cool one to see from Incredibles. And of course, the other heroes from Incredibles 2 would be kind of cool, and the villains, the Screenslaver from Incredibles 2 would be cool to see as well. Moving on from them, we have Ratatouille, we have Linguini and Colette. probably have the other characters from there as well. Above them, we have Doug and Kevin from Up. Obviously, I love to see Mr. Harrison, I forgot his name. Russell as well, of course, would be cool. Now, I think the bottom row here takes the pie of what the potential is for this game, for sure. I mean, Bug's Life, you could literally bring all of them in here. You could have Dot, you could have Princess Anna, you could have the Queen, I mean, all those guys into this game. I mean, the possibility, you could have literally have 3 different teams of Bug's Life. And it'd be so cool. And I want to see Hopper's brother too. Hopper's brother is so cool. I love to see him in this game. And of course, some more of the classic Toy Story characters, more Toy Story 2 era, Toy Story 1 era. I would love to see these guys in here. Prospector, you have Slinky, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, Rex, and Ham. Could definitely see these guys coming in and adding another 5 team into the whole DSA game. Would be freaking awesome for sure. Now, I don't think I've missed anyone. No, I probably have missed a lot of stuff. But here as well, definitely could see raids here. Monsters Inc. would be a cool one. You could, even a Bug's Life, I think, would be kind of a cool one to see as well. Or even Finding Nemo. I forgot about Bruce. That'd be so cool. Bruce and the other 2 sharks would be cool to see in the game as well. So there was actually one more aspect that I think I personally forgot to talk about. We talked about, if you remember in the early part of the video, we talked about Splash Mountain, the spell, and Bear Rabbit, stuff like that from Song of the South. Now, I think that's another concept we could talk about a little bit, is actually the rides in Disneyland themselves. I mean, there's obviously the Country Bear Jamboree, there's, what else, Astro Orbiter, those types of that. I don't think there's any characters in Astro Orbiter, though. But, you know, just like the rides in Disneyland, obviously the original Pirates of the Caribbean characters like Red and some of maybe the big pirates in that ride as well could come into the game as well. Jungle Cruise, maybe some of the Jungle Cruise characters, the ride animals, I have no clue. You could see the Enchanted Tiki Room, you could see some of those characters come into here. Tom from Tomorrow from Innovations, which is now a defunct ride. And also have the family from the Carousel Progress. I could definitely see them coming into this game as well. So I think it's a little snippet of possibilities. Oh, I forgot about Roger Rabbit as well. That's a big one I forgot about. Roger Rabbit's Big Toon Spin. That's one movie I forgot to talk about in the 1980s. I just realized that. So that's another big one that we missed. As you can see, I'm just going through the rides in my mind right now and all the different attractions. Maybe the Matterhorn Abominable Snowman from there. That'd be pretty cool to see as well. And maybe some of It's a Small World characters from the different countries. You never know, they could make their way into the game. But we have seen them go into the realms of the rides as well with Splash Mountain. So I don't see why we can't have characters from those rides too. So if you can remember any more rides and characters than I have just stated and pretty much forgot, as you can see, I know more about Disneyland than Disney World. So that's where my forte is basically. So with that said, guys, let's continue this video. I hope you guys think of other characters, maybe put in the description, because I'm kind of blanking out, but I just wanted to put this in the video because I totally forgot about these guys. And there's actually a segment I forgot to make an actual diagram for it, so hopefully you guys can forgive me about that, and just let me know what other characters you guys are thinking about there, and let's continue on with the video. Alright guys, I just really want to make this video to make you guys think of possibilities. So comment down below, who do you guys want to see in this game, and which characters are you looking forward to? Legendaries, all of that. Like I said, this is more of an imaginary game or video, not a guide or anything like that. It's just to really branch out your imaginations, think about what are the possibilities for this game. So if you like this or want to explore your imagination, just thinking about different characters out there, please share it. Share with someone who plays the game, who loves the game, or maybe spark interest in them about the characters that could come to the game as well. Because like I said, there's so many possible characters in this game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you've done so, like I said, please share, like, and subscribe, guys. We are growing, having a lot of fun. I've recently gone into Reddit, so I've been kind of sharing my stuff there as well. I'm very new to it, so I have no clue what the hell's going on. So If you found me from there, from Reddit, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe, and let me know down in the description if you found me from Reddit. I'd love to definitely learn about that, because that'd be kind of cool to see. And if you haven't done so yet, also check out our Discord. Join the Discord. We're always posting some funny stuff there. Pieman always has his funny gifts over there, so definitely check those out as well. Anyways, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.